Start with some scenes around the layout that all show the forest tree line movable backdrop. Or you can skip to 3 minutes and 46 seconds and see the making of the backdrop. I wanted to make a forest tree line that was a movable backdrop, like that. Or I could put it back, or I could take it away. So I had this idea to use foam board, some sticks, and some foliage like I use on the trees I make to make a backdrop that I can move around and use on different parts of the layout, which is really nice because some of these scenes on the edge of the layout look a lot better if you have a backdrop that you can put behind them. And this was what I came up with. So I hope you like it. If you have any ideas, share them in the comments. I love trying new ways to do scenery and stuff. The forest tree line backdrop started with 2 pieces of foam board, This is the inexpensive foam board you get from Dollar Tree. Costs $1 a sheet. These are the last two pieces I had, and I glued them together so that the total backdrop is going to be 17 to 20 inches tall, and it's 55 inches long. So then I took other scrap pieces and made a stand basic so that it would just stand up on its own. I would have used black if I had some, but these pieces were white, so I spray painted them black. I was planning on doing them both taller. I'm glad I didn't now, but I went ahead and spray painted them, and I kept I wanted to keep all the lines up and down so it would be more like a forest. So the part on the left side is horizontal because I went ahead and turned that sideways, but I think it came out all right. The foliage or branches and stuff for the forest, I'm going to make them just the same way that I make the ones for my trees. I'll have a link to how I make trees, that other video I made. I'll have a link to that at the end. But I use the filter material from like Lowe's or Home Depot, where you can cut the size to your filter. This stuff works really good. This is the best. This is only the last piece I have left, so I didn't use this on this project, but that's the stuff I try to find. I have a couple pieces of this foam stuff left already. It's the same kind of cut your own filter, but it's more like foam or spongy instead of like that other stuff that has fibers in it. I painted the backdrop with acrylic paints, and I used different shades of, I mixed blue and yellow and made some green. I had some dark green, and also mixed like yellow and black, which makes a real dark green. I wanted it to be dark, and I wanted all the lines to be up and down. So I used that 1.5 inch paintbrush, and it was like a bad Bob Ross episode. It was kind of like if Bob Ross didn't really know what he was doing, how it would work out. So, but just using this brush, a big brush like this, and kind of doing like Bob Ross does, I just kind of did up and down marks. So it was like looking into the woods. I wanted it to be dark. I like to have dark backdrops because it makes the train smoke a little more dramatic. Used a tree to kind of gauge where the canopy would be for the forest, where I would be putting the foam foliage, and started kind of laying that out, how it was going to end up on there. I sacrificed one of my trees and went ahead and put it right on the board and added some foliage around it, and it gave me an idea of kind of how I wanted it to end up. The sticks were from the backyard. I just went out and got some straight ones that were about 17 or 18 inches long and different size, from about like pencil size, or I'd say like smaller than my little finger, and try to get them straight, or kind of straight. Then after I put them on the board, I painted them with really thin acrylic black paint, very, very thin. And that just kind of took the newness look of them away. Made them so that they're kind of blended in better, I thought. So I started putting the forest moss on the bottom. That's the stuff I got from Joann Fabrics, told you about in the other video. Put that along the bottom. And I did a test run just to see how it would look. Put it over by the train layout, and then ran a train by Habacker's garage, and I thought, there's not enough trees in that. The trees were too sparse. Not too much space in between there. I like how it looked, but I just think it needed more trees. So I went back out to the backyard and I gathered up a bunch more trees. Just sticks that were all about, smaller than the width of my finger, and varied in size and everything. And then just kind of laid them on there. Pushed them up into where I already had the foam and put them down to the bottom, and then covered up the bottom with some more of that forest moss. And then tried it on the layout again. I was pretty happy with that. I like how the smoke looks against the dark backdrop like that. One more thing I did was I used that really thin black paint, very, very thin, watered it down a lot, acrylic paint, and I painted a bunch of trees behind the sticks I had already put in there. It just made it look like there were a bunch more looking back in there. And I thought it came out pretty good. So it sits on a table. I also have an easel that I can put it on, and I can set it at different places all around the track. Yeah, it makes a big difference.